Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ed Sorrentino, and today I'm going to be discussing two potential trade alerts that are under my radar these next approaching weeks. The first company that I'm going to be going over is AMRN, ticker AMRN. It's a biopharmaceutical company. It's very volatile, and if you're a young trader like myself, it definitely should be under your watch list. Obviously, the stock has gotten beaten up with the rest of the market over these last few weeks. And if you look at our indicator, VPVR, definitely suggest using that indicator, especially if you're trading options or even if you're just trading stock, that you can obviously see that there's a lot of volume of buying and selling between $2, $3 and $4 or $5. And then there's also a lot of volume when you get up here around in between 15, I would say on the downside like $14, $13, and on the upside between $23 and $24. But the reason that I'm showing you this indicator is because there's not a lot of volume between when the stock is trading between $7 and $9, which, keep that in mind, that is going to formulate this trade. And then the reason for that is because back in September of 2018, when there was a huge gap up on great news, the stock actually gapped up and then continued to run, and then obviously it has traded a lot between 13.80 and 23.40. So knowing this could potentially be another gap up, meaning that if this thing does break a certain resistance, which I will go over, then I do believe that this will be a gap up and the stock will eventually be trading at $9, $10 easily. So this is on a day chart. Let's just take a closer look. Right now I'm on the hour chart, and the same thing, if you look at the VPVR indicator, a lot of trading when the stock is $5, not a lot of trading when it's in between $7 and $9, and then obviously when the stock resumes trading at $9, $10, as it did in the gap up roughly 2 years ago, then obviously there's going to be a lot of volume because people are buying and selling at that price. Let's just take an even closer look at the 15-minute. Alright, so now I'm going to take away this indicator because I'm not going to be using it in the 15-minute. But you can clearly see that there's some sort of ascending triangle that's formulating, which is great news on the upside. And I actually even have a price alert. So what this does is that when it crosses, it clearly says here AMRN crossing 701. When it does cross this price target, then I'll be alerted on my phone, email that AMRN has crossed this certain price, and then I'll derive all my attention to the stock and what this thing is doing. So what the 701 price target marks is obviously a resistance right here. It tested it back in April 14, 2020, and then again in April 20th, and it most likely will retest the $7 price target relatively soon. However, my play is that as soon as it breaks the $7 price target, that is when I'm going to buy calls. Most likely I'm going to buy the $9, $10 calls out of the money, expiring 2 weeks from whatever date I purchased them, and I'm most likely going to hold them and wait for the gap up. Now that can happen after hours, or that can even happen intra hours, but I do think there's going to be a gap up and run, which is going to be great for our calls. However, like any other trade out there, it can go either way. It can go downside, it can go upside. Right now I'm just showing you the potential upside play with stock AMRN and how I'm going to be approaching it in sometime in the near future. Now on the downside, if it does break this ascending triangle trend line, then we could be seeing this thing test the waters of $5 again. However, like I said, just want to show you the upside and how I'm going to be approaching it. I think there's a lot more upside than downside with this thing, especially if you're considering how much it's gotten beat up over these last few weeks. And if you take a look at the 1 hour chart, we can definitely see that our MACD is has been converging. Okay, and what I'm going to be looking for is this break on this convergence. So as soon as I see a break with this convergence over here, that means that the stock should be moving and potentially be gapping up. So I'm definitely going to be watching that. That's definitely under my radar, and this stock and potential trade should be under your radar because this will be a huge gain. If you buy the Pacific calls with this trade, you can easily double and triple your money, and that's great, especially with an options trade. Most of my options trade, I try to make at least minimum 20%. However, every so often you have these huge winners that you make 100, 200%, which is great. Make that even in a day. So I just wanted to give you a quick look at AMRN. Should be under your radar. You definitely should create some type of alert. So as soon as this thing surpasses $7 a share, you should be looking to enter those calls. I mean, at least that's what I'm going to be doing. And as I've said in previous videos, I'm not an advisor. I'm not recommending the purchase of any equity or option. I'm just simply showing you how I am approaching my investment portfolio and how I am managing my money. Okay, so the next stock that I think will actually happen relatively even sooner than AMRN is company The Trade Desk Incorporation, ticker TTD. And if you've been trading stock, you definitely know that TTD has made a run over the last few years, and it should be a stock under your radar. There's a lot of volume, there's a lot of millennial purchasing, which means that you could have potential major scores because millennials tend to purchase things for no reason. And if you take an even closer look, this is at the 1-day chart. If you take a closer look at the 1-hour chart, you can see that's been retesting these waters of 245 multiple times, exactly one back at 14th of April, one in the 20th of April, and today actually as well. So the way I'm going to be playing this stock is that as soon as it breaks this resistance of 245, I'm going to be looking to enter some type of calls. Usually I like to enter calls 2 weeks out, reduces my risk, and then I most likely do either the 250s or the 255. So when do you know this thing's going to break? It's actually a price alert right over here that I have. It's actually 245.50 that I have. So as soon as it breaks this price, like I said with AMRN, I'm going to get an alert on my phone through email just to drive my attention to the stock. But I do think that if it does pass the 245 mark, it will easily go to at least the next resistance of 265, 260, 266. And the reason why I have this resistance as my next resistance that is applicable is that I just simply use resistances and supports from previous data. So if you take a look at what the stock did in the past few months, it clearly, after it did break the 245, I'm looking around right over here back in November of 2019, December of 2019, it actually did exactly what I think it will do now, and it broke this resistance, and then it went to 266, 267 relatively quickly. Looks like only in a matter of a few days. So I think that if you buy the $250, $255 calls, at least that's what I'm going to be doing once this thing breaks my price alert, then it's going to easily go to 266, 267. That's just based on analyzing data in the past and applying it, and obviously applying it to my future trades. But now that we know that this could be a potential trade on the upside, let's look at when this trade will happen. Like I said, if it does pass this price of 245, 246, then I will be entering the calls. When can it happen? I think relatively soon. However, just like any other trade, it can go either way. There could be a rejection at the 245, and then it can come back down to its support at 214, or it could just be a clean break. However, if it does reject, then I will just simply wait, reevaluate, and then potentially play the bounce off the support. But if it does not reject and does break, then I am going to be buying the calls, and I'm going to be selling them at 266, taking profit at every point move along the way, especially if I buy multiple options. As you can clearly see, back in late November of 2019, it broke the 245, and then it went to 267 real quick, and then it came back down before it retested ties again and created a newer high. That's just the way stocks move. That's why, especially with trading with options, you need to just have your set buy, your set sell, your target buy, your target sell, duration of trade. All these things are very important. If I do enter this trade and some news comes out, someone needs another bat, and all of a sudden stocks are taking a dump, I will just exit and just play it safe, take the small profit or even take the small loss. This is at the 1 hour chart. Let's just take a closer look at the 15-minute chart. And what I am going to be looking for a break is that MACD should be converging down here rather than up here. So it looks like it may reject one more time or even a few more times before it converges. The simple moving averages converge again somewhere down here, and then that's when it potentially will break out. However, if you do look at the 1 hour chart and you look at the MACD, it does look like that it could have broke out here. You know, you have to look at multiple ranges of charts to make a jurisdiction. I do like to use the 15-minute chart when I'm making my short-term trades, so I will be looking at the 15-minute chart. And I also need to look at RSI as well, make sure RSI is low enough so that it can rally. That's pretty much it with this stock. I think that if you wait, you be patient, and you wait for that break, don't enter beforehand, you'll be well off. Just like any other trade suggestion, I'm not suggesting the purchase of any option or equity. I'm just simply showing you guys how I'm approaching my investment portfolio and managing my money. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's make some money.